What's going on, my friend? I have a really cool question to answer for you guys today, and it is, how do you know when a relationship is repairable or when a relationship is just a dead end? Okay, now if you want to ask your own questions, drop a comment below because I'm going to be making more videos like this. But when it comes to the question, how do you know if your relationship's repairable or a dead end? That's a very, very complex and nuanced conversation, and every single relationship and every single, circumstance has to be looked at on an individual basis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a broad overview, a broad perspective based on my experience as a relationship coach, based on my own relationship, and hopefully this will help you guys get some sense of what direction to go when you start to ask yourself, should I stay in this thing? Is it ever going to change? Is he ever going to get better? Is she ever going to listen? Whatever the case may be, this is going to help you parse apart, pull apart, and understand, what do you do when you're asking yourself, is this relationship really the relationship that I want, or is it a dead end? Okay? So everyone, deep breath in. First thing I want you guys to do is turn off TikTok, turn off Instagram, okay? Turn it off. Let it go for a little while you're asking yourself the question, is this the right relationship? Is this a repairable relationship, or is it a dead end? Because you will find yourself going down the holes of confirmation bias, and you'll find yourself scrolling down the holes of, well, he should be doing this or she doesn't do that, and I'm telling you right now, that will be the end of your relationship. So if you want a relationship, please, for a little while, if you want to repair, turn off Instagram, turn off TikTok, begin to have conversations with your partner, okay? Because what I find so many times, especially on the feminine end of things, is that there are so many people out there trying to offer you advice, I'm one of them, right? But there's so many people offering you advice who do not know the first thing about relationships, who do not have a healthy relationship with themselves, who do not have a healthy relationship with other individuals, and they are simply regurgitating ideas, regurgitating concepts that they have heard on Instagram and TikTok themselves, okay? Or it's based on trauma and it's based on wounding. Oftentimes these people are very young. They are not experienced in relationships. They haven't had long-term relationships. And I just want to make that a clear point. Take a deep breath in. Turn off Instagram. Turn off TikTok. Okay? They're not going to help your relationship. Now, if you are trying to decide whether your relationship is repairable or not, the first thing you need to ask yourself, is the other person willing to speak with me? Are they willing to listen to me? Are they willing to have the hard conversation? Because it takes two people in order to keep a relationship going, and it takes two committed people to keep a relationship rolling and flowing. Now notice, I did not say it takes two perfect people to do this, okay? When you are bringing something to your partner and you want something to change, you're not going to be perfect. When someone is having something brought to them and illuminated to them, hey, you're hurting me by doing this. Guess what? You're not going to take it perfect, and they're not going to receive it perfect either, right? So you have to recognize the first thing is, it's okay that there's conflict. This is one of the big things that I've had to learn in my relationship. It's still a practice. I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'm still in a 7-year relationship with my partner. And even though we go at it, we come together, we move apart, we are constantly doing our very, very best to regulate our nervous systems and have the hard conversations, okay? So first thing to tune into, is this person willing to have a conversation with me, and am I willing to have a conversation with them? Second thing I want you guys to do, look up intentional dialogue. I believe it's called the Imago technique. I call it intentional dialogue. That's the first term that I heard. And it's basically you sitting down with your partner, crisscross applesauce, or face to face, and you're taking turns holding space for one another, making sure that you fully understand the other person instead of trying to defend yourself, instead of trying to prove your point, instead of trying to do that stuff. It's a structured form of conversation that you can have that helps create a safe space for someone to share. Okay? It's a practice. Look it up on YouTube. I won't go into everything here. Other people who have studied this for a very long time who can explain it much better than I can. Lots of videos on that. Look up the Imago technique or intentional dialogue. Okay? It's a structure that you need to have in order to have these deep conversations with your partner that are probably going to touch on your deepest wounds. Okay? Now, third thing, is this relationship irreparable? Can you not repair the damage? Or is it a dead end and it's time to leave? The third thing that I want you guys to think about and understand is, are you willing to look at yourself? And is your partner willing to look at themselves? Are you guys willing to heal the childhood trauma and the childhood wounds that both of you guys are attracted to? Are you both willing to do that? Because if you're both not willing to do that work, then what you're deciding is, I am willing to stay in the drama and the chaos infinitum, and I am willing to play out the drama of my parents. I'm willing to play out the drama of my inner child with my partner forever and ever and ever. If that's what you want, amazing. Some people are okay with that. If you're on a path of healing, if you're on a path of consciousness, then you have to ask yourself and your partner, am I willing to look at myself? Am I willing to heal? And for the women out there, men may heal different than you. It may look very different. And for men out there who think, well, if only this just happened, if only we spoke like this, I hear you too. Women heal different than men, okay? So you guys speak two completely different languages. It's very hard to understand each other sometimes, okay? Are you both willing to work on it, and are you both committed to the process? I have clients who have been together for decades. They have children. There has been cheating. There has been addiction. There has been broken trust. There has been tit for tat and vengeance. There's been crazy stuff. And after the healing process, after the work, after looking at themselves, beautiful things come out of it. I have testimonies I can show you, comments and messages that they've shared with me saying like, oh my gosh, my husband came home and he looked me in the eyes like he hasn't done in decades. And it like made me scared. I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? This is intense. And I backed away a little bit. She said, he pulled me closer. He said, I love you and I'm here and we're going to make it through this. And she melted in his arms. That after a few weeks of him being in a men's circle. That after a few months of her doing her own inner child work. After crazy stuff, I tell you. Okay? So if you are thinking, is this irreparable? Are we just going down this dead-end path and I'm better off with someone else? Ask yourself, am I committed to this? Are they committed to this? Are we willing to do the inner work? And can we set up the structures and the tools? Intentional dialogue, look it up. Can we set up those intentional structures so that we can hold both of ourselves with safety and love? Okay, I can't give you the answer whether your specific relationship is at the end of its road, because some are. I can't give the specifics of if your relationship is abusive and toxic and you should just leave, or if your relationship is just hanging on by a thread, and if you guys just had one little shift, one little conversation, one little tool, one little practice, if everything would shift for you. I can't tell you that through a video, but what you can do is you can send me a message or a comment below and we can hop on a call and I can help facilitate that conversation with you guys. I can help you guys train your nervous system so that you can expand your capacity and you can hold deeper space for each other, right? And I can also help translate that man and womanese so that you guys can start to understand what the other person needs so that you can offer that as a gift of love, okay? I hope that helped. I'm sending you guys lots of love.